I'm Alex Wilkinson. Here's your Spectrum News in 90. UNC season comes to a heartbreaking end in the NCAA tournament. The Tar Heels had a 15-point lead at halftime, but it wasn't enough. The Kansas Jayhawks with the largest comeback in championship game history, winning 72-69. UNC finishes its season with a 29-10 record. Organizers of the Dreamville Festival say about 40,000 people were in attendance each day at the Raleigh's Dorothea Dix Park. The festival says later today an official recap of festival attendance will be available. A Raleigh library now has a new name. Yesterday, the Wake County Board of Commissioners voted to rename the Cameron Village Regional Library to the Oberlin Regional Library. Due to the Cameron's family ties to slavery, the name was first changed to Village last year. The new name to highlight Oberlin Village, the largest settlement in the country from the Reconstruction area. Now a look at your weather.
I'm Gary Stevenson with you from the Weather on the One's Forecast Center. As we continue through the evening and into the overnight hours, a chance of showers and thunderstorms. A couple of those storms could be strong with some gusty winds. Good news is things should start clearing out late overnight and more sunshine on the way for Wednesday. Again, we see that evening chance of showers and thunder. Shower chances wrapping up overnight. Sunshine on the way with very warm highs near 80 Wednesday afternoon.
With the Ukraine crisis continuing to escalate, gas prices have skyrocketed and people are worried it could get worse.
I'm so frustrated with it, honestly. Like, I'm in school and this is absolutely ridiculous, and it's just going to get worse now with Russia invading Ukraine.
The national average as of Thursday was $4.22 a gallon. The state average as of Thursday was $3.99 a gallon. North Carolina's average this time last year was $2.63 a gallon. President Biden's order to release 1 million barrels of oil per day from the nation's oil preserves is expected to lower gas prices. Since the 1990s, North Carolina has been considered one of the most gerrymandered states in the country, and yet again the state faces more redistricting. This is now causing distress and affecting local representatives from running.
If they draw fair maps in the first place, we wouldn't be redrawing them every 2 years regardless of growth, so that is a bogus argument.
This anguish comes after the North Carolina Supreme Court has denied all appeals to the new congressional map. This means the maps are set for the 2022 elections unless there's an appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. Experts say the new map may have 7 Republican seats, 6 Democratic seats, and 1 swing district. From Black History Month to Women's History Month, we remember an icon in the U.S. military. Millie Dunn Vesey transcended the odds and created opportunities for both groups during World War II. I spoke to the City of Raleigh Museum Director and the NAACP President about how her legacy lives on today. This is the 68th 88th Central Postal Directory Battalion. Marching through the streets of England, what looks normal today was anything but in 1945. They were the first all-female, all-black battalion in the U.S. military. Their mission? Sorting through mail to make sure servicemen received the meaningful letters from home. One of these phenomenal women was Raleigh native Millie Dunn Vesey. Raleigh historian Ernest Dollar expresses profound emotion when going through pictures of Vesey.
He was very proud to show us pictures of her during her time in service and her trademark baseball hat of a World War II veteran.
Vesey didn't look like a military service member. She was thin and small, and her grandparents were slaves who experienced the end of the Civil War in Raleigh.
And when she announced to her family she wanted to go enlist, they were shocked. But her brother had gone, and she saw all the other men in her neighborhood go, so she felt truly it was her duty to go and support the war effort in Europe.
After the war, Vesey returned to the U.S. and used the GI Bill to get an education. She attended St. Augustine College and HBCU.
And together with what she did in World War II and this new education, she becomes one of the foot soldiers of the civil rights movement, like many other black veterans in Raleigh. All that she'd seen and done just left an incredible inspiration for me as a veteran myself.
Reaching the rank of Staff Sergeant, Vesey left a mark on veterans, but her overall influence went beyond. The head of the Raleigh Apex NAACP reflects on her role in the organization.
Millie Dunn Vesey, when she became the first woman president of the Raleigh Apex NAACP, it just wasn't a historical moment.
Given shuffles through membership forms, he says that her history inspires people to become and stay members.
She was an outstanding civil rights leader. She participated in the March on Washington with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. She was an advisor to Dr. King.
From the war in Europe to the civil rights movement in the United States, Millie Dunn Vesey was always
doing everything she could for human and women's rights.
Given says if Vesey had the social media technology we have today, she would be inspiring people not only in the local community, but throughout the nation and around the world. Cloud Brewing is turning their Baltic Porter canned beer into a charity for the Ukraine. You saw the label "We Stand with Ukraine." The local business says they are donating 100% of the profits to the Ukraine Red Cross. The owners say they feel a duty to do something to help.
When we saw what was happening in the Ukraine, we thought this would be something. We have the beer, we have the manpower, we have the resources. What can we do as individuals to help? Doing this is something we started thinking about, spread the idea to a few people, and we got some great feedback from the community on liking the beer, liking the cause.
If you're interested, you can support the cause by buying the beer at any of their 3 locations, and they are also distributing the beer to bottle shops around the Triangle. The Boston Marathon is coming back in full force in just a few weeks. The race has also come back for a statistics student at NC State. I spoke to the student about her path to race day. Kate Sanborn is both a master's student and an elite marathon runner.
I started competitively running in 2007 and was recruited to run D1, and I ran D1 at Army West Point, the United States Military Academy. I stopped running D1 and began marathoning my junior year in college.
Both of Sanborn's parents met at West Point and made careers out of the Army. It's a big reason why she chose to study there.
There I studied operations research and minored in network science, and I could work on optimization problems, look at like logistical transport type issues, and maybe even get involved with ORSA, which is the operations research sector of the Army. I thought that was really, really neat.
While her parents' love story originates at West Point, her experience was very different.
My sophomore year there, I was sexually assaulted by 2 of my male teammates, and it's something that hit really hard mentally, and it was something that I struggled with internally. I luckily had a great support team of academic professors at West Point, so I got linked in with Dr. Allison Wilson, whom is my research advisor right now. The moment that I walked on campus, I was like, this is a good transition. This is a great place to really like pick up the pieces and put it back together, and have no regrets coming here.
While dealing with her trauma at West Point, Sanborn was also hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Like all my learning was converted to remote, and I think like that was really frustrating for me to like internally battle. It led to a lot of anxiety and depression, and I'm trying so hard, like why can't all of these pieces fit together? Like why can't you get the result that you think that you deserve because you've put in so much work?
And all that work leads her to the starting line for the Boston Marathon. She says her goal is to show up in the best way she can. This is Sanborn's first time running the Boston Marathon. She'll be running in the elite group on April 18th. And besides being an accomplished runner, she will also be graduating with her master's in statistics this spring. Coming up, a former NC State hurdler turned world medalist takes us through the hurdles she faced through the pandemic.